We'll just open it up for questions. If you have a question, please use the raise hand function in Zoom and I will call on you. All right, let's go to Patrick.
Jalin, first of all, congratulations. Just what was the moment like when you find out that you had won it, and what were your kind of nerves leading up the last couple of days? Because it obviously seems like a pretty tight kind of race between a couple of you guys for that award.
Yeah, obviously, time I heard my name, I'm just grateful, blessed to just be in this position. Not only that, just being with my family, for them to come up here and just seeing the team behind me as well is one of the biggest things that I got out of it. But I was nervous. Marvin Harrison's a great receiver. I think we all know that. He has a great career ahead of him, and it was a good race between me and him. But I'm just blessed for this opportunity to be up here in front of y'all.
All right, next we'll go to Matt Ray.
Hey, Jalin, Mike Patrick said, congratulations, man. When you were putting in all that work this offseason that we heard about in the spring on the jugs machine, did you ever expect it to turn out like this?
This is, as a receiver, this is what you dream of. This is where you put your goals at. That's where I had my goals when I was, just during the summer and when we had our off season, just trying to be the best version of myself. And, I made a promise to my coaches that I'll try to be the best slot in the country. And, I just want to fulfill that, and just grateful to be up here, and just grateful to see my teammates here. I think that it was just a blessing. It's a blessing.
All right, let's go to Adam.
Yeah, hey Jalin, you could break the receiving record, the single season receiving record at Tennessee. You could also opt out of the bowl game. Those are two pretty tough choices. How are you going to decide what to do as far as opt out?
Yeah, a lot to put in consideration. I have to talk to my family and the coaching staff. We're still 50-50 on some things, and I'll have a decision next week for everybody. And but as far as those are two things I have to weigh in. The receiving record and just playing with the team, and or leaving. And I'm taking into consideration hard, with my family and coaches. But we'll have a decision next week.
All right, let's go back to Patrick.
Jalin, I think you had like 5 100-yard games.
You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you good. Is there a favorite game or a favorite moment as you've had maybe a little bit of time to reflect that was maybe your favorite of the season?
Are you talking about as far as a touchdown?
Touchdown game, anything before or after, anything stands out?
I'll say my fifth touchdown against Bama, I think, was one of my favorites, just because the play, as far as the play calling, I knew it was coming to me. It was just a lock post, in the slot, and we had no routes on the outside. It was just a one-man route. And I knew that, if we get that, we'll tie it up and, have a chance. And just looking at their leverage, looking how they were playing, and, I knew we had a chance, and hooked through a perfect ball. And, obviously came down with it. But I think that was the biggest moment and my favorite moment, just because of just seeing how the crowd reacted, and just seeing how Vol Nation, how they came and how they erupted everything, after that play. So that was my favorite for sure.
All right, Matt Ray.
Jalin, Patrick mentioned it at first. I think coming into this award show tonight, the Biletnikoff was probably one of the more anticipated announcements. Since you won the award here, did they give you any indication of how tight the vote actually was?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you at the end. Sorry.
Did they give you any indication of how tight, how close the race was in terms of votes?
No, they didn't tell me anything as far as, voting wise. When you're in season, just going through all that, you just try to worry about the season and worry about, what you're doing next game. But I didn't, I don't know about the voters as far as, what the numbers were or anything. But we came in here expecting to win, just as far as everything. And I think that's it for that question as far as how to answer it.
All right, Eric Kane.
Hey, Jalin, sorry if this has already been asked. But what point in the season did you maybe kind of feel like, okay, I put in the hard work, we're seeing the fruits of the labor on the field. Like I got something going pretty well here. I know you're a motivated guy and you want to keep getting better, but when did you kind of know you had something going on?
Yeah, I'll probably say after LSU game. After the LSU game, my confidence was as high as it can be. Coaching staff, started trusting me a little more, and and I kept telling them, I wanted to be the guy, the whole week, and Coach Golis gave me a shot, and then for the LSU game, and I think after that LSU game, it sparked everything else, just as far as confidence, as far as them trusting me, and as far as me going out there and making plays.
Anything else for Jalin? All right, we'll go to Patrick and then Eric.
Jalin, you talked a little bit about your decision being 50-50. If you could expound maybe on what some of those factors you're going to be considering, not only whether or not you're going to play in Miami, but if you're going to come back next season, if you're going to go to the NFL, what are some factors that you're going to weigh as you go through that process or as you continue through that process?
Yeah, you have to weigh in both options. Do you think as far as scouting wise, do you feel like you're ready for the league? Do you think you need to come back? What is NIL? What is NIL pushing? And as far as leaving, what round? What is your evaluation? What does the scouts think about you? It's a lot of things that I have to take into consideration, and would do patiently doing it, with my family and coaches. And, I just want to credit Coach Hype of, just helping me through the process and helping me make the right decision, for me and my future. You
mentioned NIL, you had to deal with Hyatt hotels to help your teammates out a little bit. How did that sort of come about, and what made you want to sort of get back to some of your teammates with that?
Yeah, with the Hyatt hotel, as far as how we came to an agreement, it was, at the end of the year, we wanted to do something for the bowl game, for the families, because, we know how hard it is as far as when you go to bowl games and families have to pay for hotels, especially being in Miami, big city. And but I'm glad we worked out an agreement. And, I think my teammates deserve the world just as far as how they practice, how they played in games, and, as far as how they came up in big moments. And it's just credit to everybody on the offense, credit to everybody on the defense, just a whole team chemistry that we have. We're brothers in this room, and I think each and every one of them, and just grateful to be in the spot that I'm in right now.
All right, last one, we'll go to Eric Kane.
Hey, Jalin, I got two, kind of a piggyback off of what Patrick just said. What's the feedback you've been getting? I bet it's been all good from the players and fans, but what's some of that feedback you've been getting from that NIL deal?
Yeah, I'm having discussions with our, NIL partners up here as far as with Spire and Volunteer Club, and we're coming to as far as just options as far as what we can do next year, and it's a long process, and I want to make sure I take my time just to make the right step for me, and for my future and for my family's future as well.
And then lastly, you've mentioned Bayless several times this year about a guy that kind of poured into you over the offseason. Have you tried to return that favor and pour into some of these younger guys like maybe Squirrel or Chaz or any of those other younger guys? If so, kind of how's that process gone?
Yeah, when Bayless was here, he was a leader in that room. Sad Tillman was a leader in this room. And, Coach Polk throughout this season, he challenged me to be a leader in the room and step up with a vocal, just as far as vocal leadership. And I wanted to take that role, and, I did. And as far as with that, I'm just trying to get the young guys, right, especially with the season this year. Anything can happen. And, I stay hard on them in practice, making sure that, they're going full out as far as whatever period we're in. And, I'm very proud of what they have done so far, being up here and growing up and maturing, from freshman, and just seeing how they develop. I can't wait to see what happens next year with them. And, just grateful to be in this position, leadership position. And so I can, teach the young guys what I know.
All right. Thank you, Jalin.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thanks,
Jalin. Congrats.